it's time to turn on to our first guest, and it's from a show that we pay attention to because not only is it exciting, drama-filled, it has food. And we both love food.
That's right.
And I've tasted a creation of this person. Let's welcome, from Hell's Kitchen, Philadelphia's own, the one, the only, Chef Christine Hazel. How you doing there, Christine?
Hi, guys. How are you?
Good. This is exciting. Are you excited? I'm excited.
I'm excited. I'm happy to be here. I was just listening to all your Dancing with the Stars talk. I was kind of mad that I missed out on the bet.
Yeah, Kristen, she covers Dancing with the Stars for AfterBuzz TV and all types of other things out there in California. And, she had, this big thing where everybody had to put the final four people in order in envelopes, sealed. So
well,
next
I want
week's
in for next season.
Well, you're in. See that?
Awesome.
We don't even watch this show. We just picked. So
I know. It's like a good, healthy competition.
So I mentioned to you in a message earlier, and I was telling Nick earlier on the show, and actually I was talking about this last week because I went to Parks Casino for a comedy show last week for the first time. I was ever even up there. And I walked in there, the side entrance, and walked straight right into Chickie and Pete's. Me and my wife and my cousin before the comedy show to grab dinner. And I sat down, and they had the flyer right on the table with the picture of Christine and 3 dishes.
All right, so what did you get?
Well, usually I go for the heat and the spice instantly, and they had the chicken Diablo. But the French onion burger was calling me. So I went to the French onion burger, and I was like, oh, my Lord. Oh, my God. The whole time, I'm biting it, and I just kept turning to my cousin and my wife. This is so freaking good. This is so good. You should have got this one.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
That was incredible. I can't praise enough how good that burger is, and everybody needs to go there and order that friggin' burger because you will not be disappointed.
Yeah, the burger's gotten a lot of buzz. We had it on Preston and Steve on MMR, and it's actually going to be at the Burger Brawl for Philadelphia on June 14th. So I'm excited about that. Hopefully we win.
The Burger Brawl. What is that? Is that
It's like the battle of the best burgers in Philadelphia, and there's a lot of different bars and restaurants all over the area that compete to get the best burgers. More or less about bragging rights, but it's a pretty good title to hold, so I'm hoping I win this week. I mean, it's June 14th, actually, at Xfinity Live.
Oh, nice.
Hey,
okay.
you need to go there, dude.
Yeah, you
know what?
walk around all day and try burgers. You can't really beat it.
Really? Oh, I got to write that date down. I got to put that one on my calendar.
I will send you the link.
Please do.
Definitely.
All right. So I go to Chickie and Pete's a lot. Almost, I'll say twice a month, easy. Are you the one that would be the guilty party that's responsible for coming up with the monthly or seasonal flavors of the mussels?
I am. My job right now, since we have about 12 main locations, is to create. I'm in charge of menu development, so I create dishes constantly, and I will test them out, usually at the Parks and South Philly locations, and then hopefully if they work out well, then we put them in all the locations. And then right now for them, I've been doing a lot of tasting dinners, and which feature just basically my food and what I would have if I had my own restaurant. And then I'm also doing sip and sautés, which are cooking classes open to the public, where you sit and hang out and have a beer and drink wine, and we also have some past hors d'oeuvres going on.
Oh, cool. And you're doing them at Chickie and Pete's?
And all the Chickie and Pete's. So right now, the first one of the sip and sautés will be on May 29th at the Boulevard location, and then they'll continue on after that.
Awesome. Very cool. I was just wondering if you were doing
Did you have the mussels? Is that what you were going to tell me?
I almost all the time, I almost always get the mussels. The one that really blew me away, I can tell it was in February. Pretty sure it was February.
Was it the Angry Orchard?
That's the one. I was going to say there was beer involved. I remember
crispy bacon. Yeah, it was, and with some bourbon onion jam. We had Jim Beam jam in there. It was really good.
Oh my God, Nick! I'm telling you, I would have drank the juice out of the bowl. It was so good, Me and my wife were like going nuts over it. Yeah, that was.
Yeah, I'm
awesome.
a big fan of cider, so I felt really inspired with that, and with the fall winter flavors.
The funny part is, I don't even like the Angry Orchard or any of them goofy beers. Like, I'm just a straight Coors Light guy. So I was like, kind of like, oh, why did they do that? And I'm like, all right, I'll give it a shot. And oh my God, delicious.
I'm gonna have to hire you to do my advertising, my marketing.
Let's do it. Come on.
Dishes.
I'll try it, and then I'll just sit and brag about how good it is.
Now I have my good test audience.
Now, were you working for Chickie Pete's before the whole Hell's Kitchen thing?
Yes, actually, I've been working for Chickie Pete's for about 4 years, and I started bartending there years ago, and I paid for culinary school, so I went into a 3-year program where I got my bachelor's degree in culinary management at the Art Institute, and when I was done, I was doing internships in other places, and started doing golf tournaments and different types of, culinary work, and then when I graduated, I took on the role of being more like a chef advisor or like a consultant, more or less. And I would go and try new things and bring new ideas to the table because Chickie's has been around for a really long time. And I was brought in to basically give more of like a fresh stance and new ideas and things like that. In the meantime, I was also doing lots of other work. I was working for Jose Garces downtown for a lot of last year. And then recently was just a sous chef at the Masters in Augusta, Georgia, working for the private invitation-only AT&T Villa. So
nice.
So I'm not just doing bar food. I'm doing a little bit of everything and trying to, find out exactly where I want to be in my culinary career.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's got to be like the part where you're at now, like, especially after this whole experience of, the Hell's Kitchen and that that craziness. And your name is really hot now, and people are all, buzzing about you, and especially in the Philadelphia area. I mean, with the whole Chickie and Pete's connection, it's a great connection. Your name's out there, but it's like, what is the next step for you? Like, where do you see yourself wanting to go?
I think that is the toughest thing, figuring that out. And right now, I want to, right now for the rest of the year, I'm planning on doing a lot of festivals, a lot of events, continue with Chickie and Pete's and helping them develop their brand a little bit. I'm doing Crab Fest. I'm doing a lot of pairing dinners coming up at all the locations. So we have the Chamonix Creek Brewing Company coming in, and I'll be doing a 4-course dinner for them, and then I'll be doing one with Jim Beam. Different things that are letting me be so creative, and I think that's the most important part right now. I'm really inspired by food and by what's going on, and I have an outlet with Chickie and Pete's, and probably going to be doing some other contract work and other things throughout the year, but I'm not going to pin myself down to anything at this point because I feel like there's just so much to do, and I want to go experience it all right now.
Yeah, you got to. Especially now, you got to strike while the iron's hot and experience as much as you can.
Definitely. Hell's Kitchen was insane, and I really did enjoy doing it, though. It was just nothing I've ever done before in my life, and it was an awesome experience, and I learned a lot. I feel like I came out way better chef than I was when I started, because when I started, I was in culinary school, and that was my first real kitchen job, was working in Hell's Kitchen, which was insane, but at the same time...
Whoa. That was your first kitchen experience?
Other than being in culinary school, and I was in culinary school for about 1.5 years at that time, I did one internship, and I worked at the U.S. Open, but nothing like a permanent kitchen job. That was my first being on the line, and it's been filmed a while ago now, so I obviously have different experiences now, and I feel like it helped develop me as a young chef and make me the chef I am today. And I feel like there's no better teacher than to learn from than Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah, absolutely. That's see right there. That's amazing because talk about being thrown to the wolf. That is King Wolf right there.
It was, and I thought, I was what happens if I go on? And I was thinking, if I get thrown off first, and what would happen? I'm like, well, it can't be that bad. I mean, it's what's the worst can happen? I'm going right from school. I'm going to be going up against executive chefs, people that have 10 years experience, and it ended up working out okay on my part because a lot of them went home first. And I showed that I did have the skill and potential to be there. So I think it ended up working out in my advantage. But it was scary at first. You just didn't know what to expect.
I would be scary, not only at first, the whole time. I'd be scared to death.
No, I mean, I don't know. For me, I just took it as go in there, be open-minded, and just, I guess, listen to everything he's saying. It was scary at first, and I guess I don't react well to people yelling at me. When they yell at me, I kind of just smirk. It's like an awkward thing where I don't cry and I don't get really upset. I don't know. I just absorb what he's saying, but I feel like I always make a weird smile, which got me in trouble sometimes in the kitchen. He doesn't like to be smiled at when he's yelling at you. Ridiculous.
Now,
made for good teammates.
Were you a fan of the show before you tried out and all?
I was a fan of the show. I've seen it for years. I do watch a lot of food TV. I like to, I don't know, I guess it's an interesting platform for people to get to show off their work. And I watched, I think, maybe 2 or 3 seasons before I went on the show. So I was familiar with some of the characters and some of, I guess, the normal things that would happen at the house and in the kitchen. Knowing that, I knew what to expect. And I knew that I'm not that sensitive, or I have a pretty thick skin, so I didn't think it was going to be that bad on me, I guess, on my ego. But I think I could see how it could be really damaging to some people's egos.
Now, being a fan and knowing what was happening and knowing what to expect and everything, like, were you thinking about this for a while, like attempting to try out for it, or?
Actually, I'll try to answer this question. I can't really say too much about how casting goes and things like that. But I actually, a friend of mine that was in the culinary world contacted me about it, and I went into like a casting thing, and I guess I didn't really think about it for a really long time. It wasn't like my lifelong dream. I just thought when it came to an opportunity came in front of me, I mean, I just felt like, why not? I better go on there. It might jumpstart my career. It might be something that's fun to do and a great culinary experience. I mean, I've always been really competitive, and I thought, why not go and competitively cook and show off some of my skills and give me a new way to, I guess, get my name out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, when you did, like, go and try out and you found out you made it, like, I came up with 3 S's. Were you any one of these 3 S's, or were you all 3? Were you scared, surprised, or shocked?
I would say all 3. Only because it didn't really sink in for a long time. I was like, oh, I'm really going out there. It's like, I'm really going to do this. And for a while, we just went about your daily business, and then I was like, oh, God, I really do have to go now. Like freaking out inside, but you just don't know what to expect, especially like if you're going to a new environment. You are going to be filmed 24 hours a day, living with crazy, insane, ridiculous people. But I think that was part of it as well. It's like you see a lot of tension in the kitchen, a lot of things going on. It's because you're with these people 24 hours a day, and they're driving you nuts. I mean, like we share a bathroom. I mean, I'm not sure if you've seen all the episodes or you see like everything going on, but I shared a bedroom with like 4 other girls, and then we had a communal bathroom with like 3 tiny little shower stalls and guys and people are gross. Yeah, there's a lot going on there. So it's like you wake up in the morning, usually around like 4:30 in the morning, and abruptly with a terrible alarm or something like ridiculous. And then you go to a challenge every day, and then you come back, and if you lose, then you're spending that whole entire day in the kitchen doing whatever punishment, whether it be drink or eat something disgusting or do really hard manual labor, and then you're doing service, get done to like 11 or midnight, and you start the whole process over. It becomes really draining on your body, and I guess it can be really draining mentally, so you start seeing all those things happen. So people ask me all the time if the show's scripted. I'm like, absolutely not. you're just around these people all the time, and things start happening, and you'll start developing either good or bad relationships. So it makes for a very interesting kitchen environment.
So now, how about like when you did find out though that you got chosen? Like, I mean, you said you were working for Chickie Pete for the last 4 years, so you had to turn around to them and say, hey, look, I'm going to go on this show. I mean, were they like?
I couldn't actually tell them I was going on a show, to be honest. So it was more or less I just said I was doing I just said I was doing an internship for school, which I was in school full time, and I did an internship for them before as well, working for the director of culinary operations for a while, seeing the other side of it. So I mean, it was, I can't say how long I was gone, but it was basically I was doing it regardless. If they weren't, right. They were really flexible with me, and I've been there a really long time, so. It wasn't really an issue. But I could see how for some it could really be an issue.
Sure.
But I did have to take a semester off from school because, I mean, I was missing a good amount of time, no matter what.
Yeah.
So I did delay graduation by one semester, but I feel like it was worth it. I had to go back to school, come back, and go back to school for a whole semester and keep everything a secret forever. It was crazy.
Yeah, now, I mean, like, which I didn't realize they did that with you guys too, where you can't tell anybody you went, because we were talking with Logan, who won MasterChef Junior, and he said that's what he had to do. He couldn't tell nobody, so he's like away, and all his friends were like wondering, like, did he move? Like, where'd they go? Like, where is he? Like, and he couldn't say nothing when he came back.
Yeah, it's very awkward. It's only because, like, you know, all these things that, I mean, these crazy experiences you've had, and some good, some bad, you want to vent to people and your family and your friends, and you can't. It is what it is. It's just like something like I've never experienced before, but you start getting used to it. Kind of like that thing you just put in your closet and you just don't talk about, and then when it finally started coming out, it's like, are you guys sure we're allowed to talk about it? I'm not going to get in trouble.
Now, was there any point where you said to yourself, like, what did I get myself into?
I would say yes. And that point happened, you guys would see it, I guess, on the first episode. I could talk about anything that happened already, pretty much up there.
Right.
So the first episode, I go in, and Chef really likes my signature dish. Gave me a 4 out of 5. I'm feeling really good about that. We still lose the challenge, I think, but because some people on my team only got like a 1, unfortunately. And we go and we start doing our punishment, and we have our first day of service. And I get paired up with Chef Monique, who was someone who I guess Chef was making fun of the first day, really didn't show much skill and all these things. And we get put on meat station together. And, of course, it's my first, like, line job. And I'm like, you know what, I'm taking this seriously. Like, I'm ready. I'm making sure I'm ready. And things start going down on the first episode, and it gets insane, and Monique didn't have her oven on and all these different things, and I was like, really? Like, the first service, it starts going down and it gets crazy. That's when I started wondering if it was the right decision. But then we got through it, and I bounced back and ended up doing pretty well and proving myself that I could be there. And then the next challenge, they paired me and Monique up again. I was like, no, what did I do? It was like that person that was restoring your side, or they know, like, if you know that person's going to bug you and just, like, get under your skin, they're definitely going to make you work with them. It's just, like, you have to learn patience, and I don't have much patience, but I did learn to have more by being on the show.
Now, how about that? Like, when you got there and they start, like, pairing you, like you said, you shared a room with 3 other girls. So, did you think to yourself, like, all right, I can see there's going to be a lot of personality clashes or a lot of fighting going on with this person or that person?
I would say immediately you saw people starting to kind of partner up or really butt heads. My room actually wasn't that bad. I mean, I'm not sure if you know the cast, but it was like Chef Michelle was next to me, Chef Megan, Chef Nika, and Chef Allison. We were kind of like an easygoing room. The other girls' room had some issues, only because it was Krissa, Monique, and Chef T. And I know that, I don't know, Monique basically got under everyone's skin, so that was like, and Sarah was over there too. I was just happy I was in the room I was in. The boys, I feel like they had more, like, issues with each other, like more volatile issues. They had more tempers and with butt heads all the time.
Oh, see, I couldn't do it. I would just go crazy, especially like, I mean, where you're sharing a room with strangers. I would be so freaked out, like sleeping in a room with strangers.
I mean, if they did anything bad to you, it would be on camera, so it couldn't be. I mean, you really couldn't be in too much danger. You know, like, I feel like the girl Krista, when she got sent home the first week, she like despised me because I think she thought it was my fault, even though she wasn't doing anything in the kitchen. I swear, if I had to stay in a room with her, I'd be scared. I think the other biggest issue in the house was like food. I mean, you all share the same fridge, and you have special requests. People eat certain things, and like guys would just come in there and like eat everything. I think I went on a diet while I was there. I definitely lost a couple pounds. You're not sitting down and having meals all the time, but at the same time, you're all sharing stuff. It's tough.
Huh. Now there's also which he's still on the show, another Philly chef, Millie Medley. What did you think of him instantly? Did you know him like from the area at all, or?
Me and Millie did not know each other previously. That was the first time meeting on the show. I mean, we get along fine. Like he's easygoing, I'm easygoing. We never had any direct issues with each other, more or less. And I feel like our personalities didn't really clash. So, I mean, I wish Millie all the best of luck. And he's a really, really genuinely nice guy.
Cool.
Sometimes I feel like he gets I get to point the finger at him and stuff like that with the beard and all that, but he really can cook. That's what matters.
Absolutely. Now, how about like when you were finally able to tell everybody you were on the show? Like, what was everybody's reaction?
Family and friends, they just thought that I was insane for doing it at first, but were really supportive. And my family was really supportive. They would come out. We have viewing parties every week at different Chickie locations. We had our first one, over 250 people came out, between fans, press, and all these different things. I have a nice following and people that really were supportive of it. They always want to come out and try my next dishes and come to my dinners and things like that. So they were happy. But I think my parents were always like all nervous the night of the show if I was going to get yelled at. My poor dad, his nerves were shot. It felt bad.
I don't
are you
blame
going to do
him,
good this week, or are you going to get yelled at? Both of that.
Yeah, I mean, like when I watch these shows, like whether it's Hell's Kitchen or MasterChef, like I get so stressed out. Like I would crack under the pressure so quick, and it just amazes me how you guys. I mean, especially on Hell's Kitchen. Let's face it. Like on MasterChef, he does a little bit of hollering, but Hell's Kitchen, he really loses his freaking mind. And
yeah,
I would go nuts.
Food.
Yeah, I mean, plates are throwing, food's flying, and
the worst is if
F-bombs are going.
You get pulled in that closet. Oh, you know you're getting screamed at. It's like no.
Oh, that's so funny. That is so funny. So, all right. So, now, like, how's it been afterwards? Like, you've been on TV. I mean, not even people's react. Like, I mean, people in general, have they treated you different?
I would say.
Have you suddenly, like, have all these new friends that have come out of the woodwork, or old people that were maybe friends from school all of a sudden are, oh, yes, Christine, how you been?
There was a lot of that, actually. I mean, I had people I would see out, and I guess from, like, high school and stuff, and sometimes I wouldn't recognize them because I went to a high school that had over 500 people in our class. Or I'll be out at the bank or the store or anywhere on the street, and I'll get noticed. I was at the Italian market the other day. People were coming up to me. That is difficult to get used to. So just because I'm like, I don't know. I didn't realize how many people actually watch the show from our area.
Right.
I would say, yes, a couple people from my past, but more or less people were pretty supportive of me, even like the fans and people that I have through social media and stuff like that. They didn't really pick me apart like some other people they're really negative towards. Or I guess when people that were louder or really talk down to other contestants, there's backlash for things you say and things you do.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't get too much of that. I feel like they always showed me making like a dirty look or doing stuff or saying something like here and there, but they didn't get me, like I wasn't cursing at people and like screaming at people, and I didn't get a lot of negativity because of that, because I feel like this is my career and this is something that I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life, and I just don't want those negative stigmas to be stuck with me forever for being someone that's terrible to work with in the kitchen.
Right.
I feel like that's important to represent who you are, not just do things for camera. And be there to cook and be there to get the job done, and not just trying to get more airtime.
Exactly. That's pretty smart. Look at you. Good head on your shoulders there, Christine.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
So, all right, so at this point now, like, or how about, too, like you were saying, too, with the whole social media thing, have you had, like, a lot of people, like, maybe like stalker or total like just haters, where because we're good friends with if we watched MasterChef from season 4, Chrissy from South Philly, Loudmouth Chrissy. She's a good friend of ours. She's on this. You can't forget Chrissy. She's on the show a lot, on our show a lot. She does a show on our network. She left a mark, and she had so many people like just hating her, and I still, as a matter of fact, because we'll put our interviews up on YouTube. I again yesterday, another one, like the hate of the messages that come through for her. It's just amazing. Did you experience anything like that?
Not the hate. I got a lot of, I guess, positive, or when you say stalker stuff, I get a lot of stuff from the internet, and I find that so weird to me. I get a lot of Facebook messages and things from people across the world where I would say the number of requests is out of control. If it's not a language I can understand, I'm not going to confirm. Or if I get like weird messages, I usually don't respond because I don't want to like egg someone on to be negative or positive. So people will sometimes make like a quote or a comment on my page. Like if there was a negative one about a dish or something, I'll just delete it. I'd rather not respond and try to feed fuel to any fire like that, because it's not something I'm trying to promote. But for the most part, I mean, I get a lot of good press, a lot of good fans out of it. I've done good amount of radio and a lot of articles and stuff in the area, and I feel a lot of positivity. I haven't really seen too much negative. I feel some of the other contestants have had some backlash. There was actually one thing that Megan, Megan said she was going to quit on our show and all this stuff. Okay. We're both blonde. And one of the Hell's Kitchen TV something tagged me on Twitter and said it was me that gave the rant. I got so much negative backlash. They posted a picture of Megan with my Twitter handle. I was like, sorry guys, this is not me. I'm not that angry. That was a weird thing. And I'm like, an all blonde don't look alike.
Oh, that's funny.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, I would freak out with that. Like, it's not me, it wasn't me.
Yeah, I went on there, I was like, it wasn't me, guys. Obviously, if you looked at the picture, you could see, but someone didn't do their research for that website. But it was kind of funny at the same time. I'm like, I'm just listening to what people were saying, like negative comments. I'm like, wow, at least I'm glad I'm not getting these.
Well, the show, it's still going on. Do like people constantly try to like grill you to find out like who wins and stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, I've gotten really good at not, I guess, letting the cat out of the bag. We're still not allowed to talk about anything that hasn't happened, even though like you want to. You definitely want to like discuss things that are going on and things like that. But I mean, it's not going to be on for too much longer. We're getting towards the end here. Down to the finalists, and they're going to Black Jackets this week. They showed them the preview, which is exciting, and it's awesome for the chefs that are still there. It's definitely pretty cool. But I was so mad the week after I got kicked off on the really, really weird way of setting it up with the voting from the teams. And then the next week they didn't send anyone home. I'm like, no. Not fair.
Oh, man. So do you keep in touch with any of the contestants?
Yes, a bunch of the contestants I still talk to, probably like on a daily basis.
Oh, that's cool.
Not all of them, but probably at least 5 or 6 that keep in pretty close contact. And the other ones, some of them through social media, but there's some I don't talk to at all with no contact whatsoever.
Sure.
Just because, like, you're either going to form that bond or you're not. I mean, some people you just rather not be associated with.
Well, that seems like to be the general way that it happens. Like a lot of the people that we talk to from these shows, it always seems like there's a few that they're going to remain friends with, and you can tell that. And they all usually say a lot of the same thing. Like they went through this life-changing experience with these people and formed these bonds that nobody will ever understand except for these fellow people.
It's true. I mean, it is a crazy experience, and I found that it's almost like a little bit of a family with the other seasons as well. Since I've been on the show, I've been approached by many other past contestants to do other things or to meet up or come and welcome. Like for my premiere party, Chef Cindy from season 11, she came and welcomed me to the Hell's Kitchen family at my party. And I thought it was really nice of her. There's people that really do care and they want to share the experiences they had as well. So that's a positive thing coming from the show.
Very cool. It's good to hear, like, positive things coming out of it. So that's a good thing.
Definitely. I think for the most part, my overall experience was way more positive than it was negative. I mean, even the way I went out, I'm not happy. I mean, I'm not sad about it. I feel like I put my best food out there, and I think I did pretty good. And it's like some things you can't control. You can't get mad about them. It is what it is. Just move on from there, and hopefully you guys will see a lot from me in the future.
I think we will, especially in the Philadelphia area. We're definitely going to be seeing a lot. And as a matter of fact, our good friend Janetti, who calls into the show from time to time, he's like a co-host from time to time. He can't make it on, and he's a big fan of the show, and he told us to tell you that you were his favorite and you were robbed.
Oh, I said thank you so much. I appreciate it. I did feel like I was robbed a little. I did, but after a week, I got over it.
So, all right, you know what? I'm coming back to Chickie and Pete's next week, so I'm going to have to see if you're going to be there.
All right, sounds good. Let me know when you're coming. And we also have a crab fest coming up on June 7th if you want to come up to the Boulevard location. We're going to have a new dish from me, a new mussel dish. I know you love the mussels. And we're going to have some fun beers and stuff that will be tapped that day. So it'll be like a little party on the patio.
Ooh. I'm going to have to give you my email address so you can send me, like, press releases and stuff or whatever you got so I can put these out for you.
All right. Definitely. Sounds good.
Keep track of the ongoing delicious food.
All right. Well, I look forward to it. I had a great time with you guys.
Cool. Thanks, Christine. It's been a lot of fun. I want to wish you all the luck. And, again, people, the French onion burger, trust me, you won't go wrong with that. It's out of this freaking world.
All right. Thanks, guys.
All right, Christine, take care, and thank you, and hopefully we'll see you soon.
All right. You too. I'll talk to you later.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
All right, everybody, there she goes. Chef Christine Hazel from Hell's Kitchen this season. Nick, I'm telling you. Dude, them mussels, oh, my God. Oh, my freaking God. I'm telling you, dude, they were so good. Oh, my God. Oh, look, and Janetti's on now. It figures, right? And Nick's on mute. I'm talking to myself here.
I was on. No, you're not talking to yourself. He's there. I was on. I got to hear your plug for me, so I appreciate that. But that poor girl, she was screwed. She got screwed hard on there.
Yeah.
So, robbed, I should say. Yeah. So,
that sucks.
Poor girl.
Yeah. I can't wait to go up there next week.
Yeah. Oh. Hey. Well, we'll go too when I come up. That'll be good.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Just,
Nick, you got to come out here back to Philly, man.
I do, man. I really, really do. Yeah. We all got to head out to Chickie and Pete's. Where's she at? Which one's she at?
Well, she's like the head chef of them all.
Oh, is she? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so she goes, like, I guess, location to location, and she does, like, she was saying, like, cooking lessons and stuff at each location and stuff like that, and she's the one that comes up with, like, all the specials and
Right.
Yeah.
Because they don't have her on the, what do you call it? They don't have on there what place she works for. They just kind of tell, you know, when they put up her name, just a little bit about what they, you know, where they're from and what they do. So I forget what they put up for her, but they don't put up Chickie Pete.
Yeah.
They don't put that on there. So they're not plugging anybody.
Yeah, no. And plus she probably got like freaking stalkers and stuff like that, like stalking around. I'm sure there's people going around all
now that we're out in her. Now that we're out in her on you know radio, that's not helping.
Well, she's been putting it out there like crazy. I mean, everybody knows she works for Chickie and Pete's, but there is 12 locations, so